Alright, so we fast forwarded a little bit more, and, new choice. We're gonna say marriage should be to someone you love instead of I want to give birth to your baby. So let's see what happens when we do this. Marriage should be to someone you love. I don't think you should be forced to marry someone.
That's true.
Given that, I might have been lucky. I was able to marry my Bayal.
A lot's happened since then.
Yeah, a lot sure has happened. First, research on the rot has progressed. I couldn't imagine that my relationship with Toya would change so much. Aw. I like that. She's like, I married my Bayal. He's like, haha, yeah, sure. At the time, I didn't expect to be spending such gentle times with you.
Really? I had a feeling. What? You don't believe me?
Well, given our first night, with a partition, our marriage contract with Noel watching over it was faked. It's a little disappointing to think about that being the first night. It doesn't count. Thinking about it again, this is exactly how Noel intended for things to go. I feel a little regret over that.
Noel. By the way, Surin was extraordinarily obsessed with you.
Obsessed? I just remember him saying nasty things.
I still need to prove that you're mine as soon as possible.
Prove?
My queen has also requested it of me, so let's get to work at once.
Huh? Huh?
Now, if you like, let's take this to the bedroom.
Toya suddenly lifted my body with the momentum to say that this was a good idea. Alright, well, I guess we'll let them get to it then. As if to relieve the indigestion of the day, Toya didn't quite want to let go of me that night. Ah, yes, the indigestion of the day. However, Toya must have been overdoing it for the past few days. When the moon reached the mid-sky, he suddenly became quiet. Oh, girl, you're looking so cute. Hardly ever see you looking like this. He's overdoing it. Toya, who is sleeping with me in his arms, is breathing deeply in his sleep as if he is very tired. The arm pillow is nice, but I wonder if in this position he'll be tired when he wakes up. Since he usually works hard, I want his body to rest at least while he's sleeping. I thought about it and tried to get out of his arms, but he was holding me tighter than I thought. I couldn't get out of his arms. Just as I finally got some wiggle room, he held me even deeper. Let's see. It feels like I've been struggling for about an hour. Just trying to inch my way out. I finally get out of his embrace and take a breather. Finally got out. Even so, I put a pillow in Toya's arms in place of me as he was about to hug me again. It works beautifully, and Toya, apparently satisfied, went quiet. The way he sleeps while hugging the pillow tightly is like a child. He's cute. It may not be the impression you would have of an adult man, and one who is older than you, but that's how I feel. With a surge of love, I kissed the sleeping Toya on his cheek. I'll get you something to drink. I was completely awake and quietly got out of the bed so as not to wake Toya. Just as both of my soles hit the floor, I heard a clatter on the other side of the door and looked up. Sensing someone's presence, I hurriedly put on my clothes. I fell asleep after the affair with Toya, so I was naked. Who is it? The faint voice was familiar. I called out to the other side of the door while wondering why it was so late at night. Uru?
Yes, Her Majesty.
After a long silence, Uru's subdued voice responds. Relieved, I opened the door and found Uru standing head down in the slightly cool hallway. What you up to? Did something happen?
No. It's raining now.
Rain? Ah. I consciously listened to the sounds outside. Have we actually heard rain? No, we have heard rain. Duh, I forgot about Naala getting sick, literal pneumonia. We have definitely heard and seen rain in this game before. Doi. I consciously listened to the sounds outside. The sky seemed to be very stormy tonight, and large raindrops driven by the wind were pounding on the wooden door. Were you, by any chance, worried that I fell asleep with the window open?
Yes.
Uru must be tired from working all day, but I was happy that he took care of me, even late at night. Thank you, Uru. With you here, I can sleep peacefully at night. It was nothing but an honest feeling of gratitude. However, for some reason, Uru's face distorted for a moment when he heard my words. Bewildered by the face that seemed to burst into tears at any moment, I bent down and looked into Uru's face. What's wrong? What?
A woman shouldn't stand in front of a man wearing such thin clothes. It's my fault for coming to you this late at night, but you're too unguarded.
Ah, I'm sorry. Even though I apologized, I didn't think I should be wary of my opponent. Just think about his feelings, though, girl. Even if it's not for your own protection, like, he's just like, I'm on the struggle bus here, please. Please. I know that Uru is also a boy, but it's hard to think of such a cute and much younger Chamberlain as a member of the opposite sex. Uru? Did he think I was teasing him? Uru bit his lip and clasped his hand tightly around his chest. I'm just saying that I feel relaxed with you.
I understand that. I understand that very well.
It was repeated with such weight that it convinced me. I wonder if something happened. Feeling uneasy, I tried to look further into Uru's face. But before I can get face to face with him, he quickly backs away.
I'm glad you're all right.
Yeah. You should get some rest, too.
Yes. I apologize for bothering you at this late hour. Good night.
He bowed more deeply than usual and walked away quickly. I felt a strange tugging as I stared at his diminutive profile as he disappeared into the distance. Something seemed wrong with Uru. Okay. I'm pretty sure Uru only has one ending. So whoop, that was a mistake. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think he just has the one ending. So probably just depending on this, we might get knocked back to Toya. I mean, probably. Yeah, this is dismissing it as tiredness, whereas this is more like, is there something more there? Maybe I should chew on it a little bit. Maybe she'll even, like, follow him and be like, yeah, what's going on, man? No up. I guess we'll see. I wonder if it's just my imagination. If that's the case, then I should just say goodnight again. For now, I can't sleep with this hazy feeling in my chest. In order to resolve it, I headed towards the corner of the corridor where Uru had disappeared. Okay, well, I mean, this is kind of what I figured would happen. Shadows of regularly lined columns in the corridor overlooked the courtyard. Uru stood still, trying to hide himself in one of them. I just realized he's crying! Uru! What happened, sweet BB? The wind mixed with rain curled and dampened Uru's beautiful hair. Uru? I couldn't think of any other words to describe the beauty of the scenery. Uru's shoulders jumped in response to my little mutter. His eyes, who looked back at me in a way that said, "You surprised me," were filled with large drops of water. Uru hurriedly turned his face away and rubbed his eyes with all his might. Were you crying?
No, this is The rain.
Uh-huh. Where have I heard this before?
It's a terrible day for rain.
An awkward smile pierced my chest. I don't know why, but I could feel Uru's deep sorrow, and I felt like crying.
What's wrong, Her Majesty?
You are.
Me?
I'm a bit worried. I looked for the rest, but couldn't find the right words. When the silence fell, the only sound that echoed through the corridor was the rain pounding on the walls. As the sound of such heavy rain was becoming familiar to my ears, it was Uru who opened his mouth first.
How I was earlier.
Hmm?
Was I... weird?
A little. I was worried that you might be crying. His thin voice trembled, and I knew that he'd gotten choked up. Did something happen?
No, nothing.
Then why were you crying? I might not be able to do anything about it, but if you don't mind, why not talk about it? I hate seeing you in pain. I think it's easier than bearing it alone. I wonder? Uru? Worried about Uru, who didn't say a word, I looked into his big eyes. His brown eyes were still covered with faint tears, and I could see me flickering in the reflection.
In that case, I have one request.
What? I'm a little happy that my thoughts are getting through to him. As I waited for the continuation while suppressing my urge to rush him, Uru looked down again. The mouth that speaks seems terribly heavy, and the expression on his face isn't clear.
Would you mind covering your ears, please?
Huh?
This is my first and last request.
Is this your request?
Yes.
That isn't me listening to you. I mean, he's never asked us for anything. He must want to say something to her face, but have her not actually hear it. I just wonder if we, the player, will be able to hear it. I mean, we asked him what he wanted. He's like, this is my first and my last request. I will fulfill it. I was about to say, that isn't me listening to you, but I swallowed my voice. There must be a good reason why Uru, who is so intelligent, is making such a strange request. He wants to be heard, but he doesn't want it to be heard. Reading such a complicated state of mind, I placed both hands on my ears. Is this okay? After saying that, I pressed down on my ears even more. Even the sound of the rain is blocked out, leaving only the sound of blood circulating. Uru, who seemed to confirm this after a couple of words, slowly opened his mouth. Uru says, I can't hear any of his voice. I can only tell that he is talking to me, each word spoken carefully. His shaking hand reaches out and lays over the hand holding my ear. His lips that came closer seem to be spinning the same words over and over again. Aw, what are you saying? I'm so curious. Eventually, one by one, the fingers were carefully peeled away, and the eyes, which had been wet with tears, took the form of a smile. In front of the beauty that seems to softly break into a flower, I can't even say a question.
Okay, that's fine.
Uru's red eyes are somehow sad, maybe because they're red. Seeing Uru smile as he grew up in an instant, I knew the weight of the words that would never be spoken again. Well, I don't. What was said? Guys? You gonna just leave it to my imagination? Oh, sure, okay, we'll just go back to the Toya show for a little bit, I suppose. Oh, I just gotta like, wonder. Sure. Alright, let's resume from here. Probably get a knock at the door. There we go. Ah, please.
Excuse me. Good morning, Her Majesty.
After giving permission, Uru entered 1 beat later with hot water on a tray. He handed me a bowl, and I began preparing for the morning. I immersed myself in the continuation of my thoughts while watching Uru go about his work in earnest, as he always does. It's a strange coincidence that we both had an unpleasant dream. When I remembered, the last angry voice in my dream revived on my eardrum. Bravka.
That's a bad omen for the morning, Her Majesty.
Huh? Uru, frowning at my muttering, approached with my change of clothes. When I asked him what was wrong with my eyes, Uru fluttered his big eyes and asked,
You don't know, and yet you said his name?
What?
About Bravka.
Yeah, so what's with that name? I didn't think the name I heard in my dream really existed. Did I hear it somewhere and remember it? This strange coincidence was creepy, and at the same time I felt chills down my spine.
Bravka is the name of the spirit that supported Nasla in ancient times.
But why is that a bad omen?
Because Bravka became a devil.
A spirit that became a devil? Basically, spirits are considered to be good, and devils are bad temptation, the opposite of spirits. That's why Uru's explanation didn't go unnoticed, and I thought that maybe it was a metaphor for something.
In ancient legend, Bravka is said to have been charmed by the wife of the flame spirit and took her away out of temptation.
He took the wife of the flame spirit?
You've never heard of this?
In my country, in Rus, we mostly believed in the moon spirit, so I'm not too familiar with it. There are many spirits said to guide everyone, but the spirits that are most preferred depend on the country or region. In Rus, the moon spirit is generally preferred, and we indulge in our emotions on the night of the full moon. Speaking of, I heard from Auri a long time ago that most people in Nasla believed in the flame spirit. I'm not quite as religious as Auri, so I didn't remember as well. I smiled wryly at my lack of conviction and managed to dig up my memory. Ah, right. So the pattern on Toya's arm is the mark of the flame spirit.
Yes. The successor to the Nasla throne will certainly have that mark engraved.
Oh? Then what kind of spirit was Bravka who supported this country?
The fire spirit.
That's different from flame? That's different from flame? There we go. My tongue just decided I'm not gonna work.
Yes. Bravka is...
Excuse me for interrupting your rest. Is Uru there?
The explanation is interrupted by Mul's visit. I wanted to know how it continues, but if Mul, Toya's chamberlain, is here, then there might be some urgent matter. Nodding, Uru took a small step towards the door. Mul's face can be seen through the gap in the open door.
Is there something, Mul?
This is from Lord Toya, to Her Majesty.
Understood. Thank you for your efforts.
It seems that you are serving well.
Yes. I'm working hard every day so that I can become a chamberlain like you as quickly as possible.
I'll be in trouble if you surpass me.
I'll do my best!
Yeah. Good luck.
It was a suppressed voice, but I could hear it properly. For a moment, Mul showed his kind, brotherly side, making me smile.
Then I will take my leave. Oh, right. It's good to work hard, but don't overdo it.
Yes, big bro. Mul, please take good care of yourself.
You two get along well.
Sorry, I was in the middle of explaining.
Uru hurried back, and in his hand was a pretty flower with lovely pink petals. Is that from Toya?
Yes, I'll put it in the vase.
The flower was one that I'd called cute before. I smiled, happy that he remembered such a trivial remark.
His Majesty really loves Her Majesty.
Huh? What are you talking about? Toya's kind to everyone.
No, His Majesty is kind, but...
But? I'm worried about what he didn't say. Even urging him, Uru looked down as if choking his voice. Uru?
This is just my perception, so it might be different from everyone else.
I tilt my head at this strange preface. I furrowed my brow as he continued his puzzling explanation.
There used to be a feel about His Majesty that kept people away.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone so big-hearted.
I think so too, but sometimes, behind all that, I feel like there's something else, something dark.
Is that so?
Yes. Mole laughed at the idea, so maybe it's just my own personal thought.
It's rare for you to say something like that. Wasn't Toya your master before?
What I want most now is the happiness of Her Majesty.
In other words, he's explained that I'm more important to him than Toya. The phrasing was very Uru-like. I wonder if there's something to that. Uru is a child who is sensitive to the subtleties of emotions. Maybe he felt something that Mole and I didn't notice. Thanks for your concern. If you're worried about Toya, I'll do my best to support him.
I am also here, so please don't try too hard, Her Majesty.
That's true. While stroking the cute Chamberlain's head, I remember Toya's face as he was moaning. Oh god, I forgot about that line. I felt that Toya's bitterly twisted face was changing the meaning was changed by the meaning of Uru's words, sentences. What kind of dream was Toya having at that time? Will we ever know this time around? Alright. Gonna skip through all that nonsense, Surin and stuff. Will I have to change anything going from here? I don't think so. Actually, I think I can skip ahead for a little bit, so I'll bring you guys in when something changes or Uru reappears. Okay, we've avoided our bad ending with Toya so far. Found the bedroom in the basement and got out of there in one piece. So it's the morning after that. As I groaned loosely and rolled on the bed, I heard the usual regular knocking on the door. I still wanted to sleep, but I didn't want to pretend to be out. I sat up by willpower alone and answered towards the door. Come in.
Are you okay, Her Majesty? Maybe you have a cold.
Uru, who seems to have misunderstood, is worried when he sees me, who seems to be sick. As I smile wryly and shake my head, Uru exhales and begins to prepare for the morning. I can't possibly say I'm tired from too much lovemaking.
That's improper, Her Majesty. If you keep slacking off, Bravka will come for you.
Bravka. Speaking of, Uru, what were you going to say back then?
Back then?
You were explaining how Bravka and the Flame Spirit are different.
Ah, that conversation. Bravka is the younger twin brother of the Flame Spirit Blaze.
Twins? Younger brother?
Yes. It is said that Bravka, who was protecting Nasla with Blaze, one day came to want his brother's wife, and stole her away. Furthermore, Bravka planned to destroy Blaze and Nasla in order to win her heart. But as a result, Blaze won and Nasla was protected. This is an ancient legend. So in the Nasla royal family, I heard that the younger twin brother is detestable, and was considered to be dead when he was born. Huh? Is there something wrong?
Huh? Oh, it's nothing. Nothing. Ha 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 ha, it's fine. Everything's fine. We'll make the decision now. Okay, I should be able to skip ahead for a while. I will bring you back a little later. Right, well, we've learned the whole truth now from Toya, and he's off to war, so it's Uru to the rescue for us once again. How long was I standing there? So stunned that my knees went numb, and eventually the sound of small footsteps reached my ears.
Her Majesty,
Uru.
are you sure you want to be here?
Huh?
Her Majesty loves His Majesty, right?
Yeah, but...
Please be strong. Which Toya does Her Majesty love now?
Which...
Whether it's the older or the younger brother, I believe you chose to be with the Toya who is here now and become his queen. At least, that's my understanding of it. Am I wrong?
You heard.
My sincere apologies. Don't let Lord Toya face this alone. He's filled with too much atonement to fight alone now.
Atonement. I rolled those words around in my mouth and figured it out. What made me the saddest was... Uru, Okay, gotta keep going on to that best ending for Toya. I didn't want to be atoned for. I was sad that Toya loved me while suffering like that.
Yes.
The short response seemed to contain the thought, I understand, and more tears welled up. I want to tell Toya properly that I love him.
Then tell him.
But... Toya must have left the castle long ago. As I was puzzled by his suggestion, Uru, smiling softly, said something unusually naughty.
If there's no way, then make one.
I blinked, wondering what in the world he meant, and Uru, who had just passed by me with a short jog, went around behind the throne. He crouches down and presses with all his might on the retracted area under the foot of the throne.
Ugh.
While watching, incredulously, his small hands sank into the depression. After a while, a gaping hole opened behind the throne.
Despite saying that I was on your side, I apologize for staying silent. But I couldn't help but think that Her Majesty would be happier in the presence of His Majesty.
What is this?
It is a hidden passageway reserved for the royal family. If anything should happen, His Majesty has ordered us to let Her Majesty escape from here.
Uru, you...
If you go through this passage, you can get out of the royal capital. Allow me to take care of the Roos women. And please, help His Majesty.
No! If I did this, you'd be in terrible trouble! And leave it to you. What are you going to do?
That's still a secret, but I'm still on your side. I'd be happy if you would believe me on that.
Uru.
Hurry up and go. We don't have much time.
Dang. I mean, if I leave, it's to go to Toya. But this is probably like our last chance to break off and be like, and the Toya ending. I can't just leave you.
Her Majesty.
I was worried about Uru just as much as I worried about Toya. Uru is trying to send me to Toya, ready to be punished. Not only that, but he must be trying to save the Roos women as well. How could I leave such a chamberlain behind? But the one who took me to the battlefield was... If Uru gets injured as a result of the arrows flying around, I wouldn't be able to bear it even if I died. What should I do? I want to chase after Toya, but I can't go if that means leaving Uru. I am stuck in a maze of thoughts with no answers, and all I can do is grow impatient.
Her Majesty.
When I came to my senses with a voice without hesitation, it seemed that I had unconsciously clenched my fist and my fingers had turned white. Uru took my sweaty hand and gently opened it.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
But... As I stretched out my fingers one by one, I gazed at the beautiful face of the Chamberlain, who had begun to smile like an adult before I knew it.
If I'm not mistaken, You're worried about me, aren't you? I'm very happy that Her Majesty is concerned about me. It's a waste on someone like me. But I'm really fine. Don't leave your heart in a place like this.
But... Still unable to make up my mind, I gulped as I tried to argue further. I feel a soft warmth on my cheek. Uru's face is very close. Did you smooch her on the cheek? Or touch her cheek? Huh? There! You get her on the cheek! Whoa! Whoa! I didn't think we were actually going to get that far with him. Hello. The soft lips parted, leaving behind a brief, yet certain sensation that seemed illusory. Is that how you say that? Illusory? I put my hand on my flushed cheeks and muttered his name dumbfoundedly. Uru?
I have entrusted my heart to Her Majesty. Please go, taking only my feelings. Please.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back.
Yes.
What's been entrusted to me, I will definitely give it back to you.
There is no need for that. Because it's yours to keep.
That's... When I was about to ask him what it meant, he pushed my back with all his might, which was unusual for Uru.
Come on, we don't have time. Hurry up to His Majesty!
Yeah. Uru, please be safe.
Yes. Please get going.
The moment I turned around, I felt like I saw a transparent drop at the corner of Uru's eye. He's gonna just shed a single tear. I'm going. I want to be a suitable master for the sincerity Uru gave me. I stepped into a dark passage with his beautiful smile in my eyes. Dang, okay. Well, I guess hang around a bit, guys, and we'll see how this all wraps up. Okay, is this the chapter? Okay, we're still in decision, but from Naala's perspective again. Stop! Auri swings his sword straight down. I'm sorry, Uru. You took the trouble to send me off, but... We got stabbed? My shoulders were burning hot. I heard Auri yelling, but I could barely make out what he was saying. Hello? All along, I've been crawling in the deep, dark depths. Scattered thoughts don't last long, and the sounds I hear fizzle out before I can recognize their meaning. How far did I go in such a situation? So she must... I'm assuming she got injured by Auri. The battle stopped right then and there. They got her help. Peace was restored, hopefully. Auri came to his senses. We can hope.
Her Majesty.
I was about to stop, ready to give up. Then I heard a dim voice from the other side of the darkness where there wasn't even a dim light. My left hand is slightly warm. All she can make out is Her Majesty. Just so you know, it's Uru talking.
Her Majesty. Her Majesty.
Once delivered, the voice echoed uninterruptedly throughout. Repeatedly, coming like a wave. Strangely, I was confident that if I went in the direction of the voice, I would be all right. That is... After walking patiently, I find a break in the line. The voice, it seemed, was leaking from it.
Her Majesty!
I see. You are... I shook off the clinging mud with the smell of the underworld itself and pried open the white crack. Aww! Hey! How you doing, boo? How do I get rid of this? There we go. Staying by her side. What a good Chamberlain.
Her Majesty!
The first thing I heard when I woke up was a voice calling me. My left hand was warm and sweaty from human heat. When I moved my fingertips to confirm that it was my body, it was squeezed back.
Her Majesty?
Uru. Apparently, it's Uru's hand that I'm holding now. It took me a few seconds to realize that my consciousness, which had sunk into the depths of a deep sleep, hadn't fully returned yet.
Her Majesty?
Called with a hoarse voice, I slowly turned my head. When I looked at him, tears were falling from Uru's eyes, which had turned red. Uru? He puts more force into the hand he'd already been tightly gripping, making it hurt now. He's stuck. He's a broken record.
Her Majesty. Her Majesty, Her Majesty, Her Majesty! Oh, thank goodness! You were out for so long. I thought I'd killed you. Because I'm just so pitiful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Her Majesty.
Hearing Her Majesty repeated in his voice, I feel I've heard it before. I see. It was Uru's. It was Uru's. What is going on with my mouth today? It was Uru's voice that scooped me up from that dark place. Uru was by my side the whole time. Looking around the room, I suddenly realized. What about Toya? I can't see anyone other than Uru in the room. What happened after I fell? My fears rise as I can't find Toya. My tired body couldn't move, but my heart was pounding.
After Her Majesty was carried by Lord Toya.
Uru catches his breath while swallowing his tears. Leave it to Uru to be able to continue without getting caught up in his own emotions.
The war was temporarily put into a truce. It seems that the Ruse King was quite shaken by hurting Her Majesty, who he had intended to rescue.
I figured.
He withdrew his army, at least until Her Majesty woke up. During that time, Lord Toya and Lord Knoll, along with the women of Ruse, asked if it would be possible to turn the truce into a ceasefire. They were asked to discuss it.
Along with the Ruse women?
Yes. If the women who wanted to return could be approached, perhaps something could be done.
Ah, so that's why he's not here. Thank goodness that Toya is safe. It was a tremendously good windfall that I was able to save Toya, I guess. My personal feelings aside, he's not someone we can afford to lose. Had Toya died, Nasla would have been consumed with rage and a war of attrition that would never end until they both devoured each other. It's hard to imagine that Auri, who had made up his mind to rescue me, would quit the fight half-heartedly. There was no hesitation in Auri's sword that was swung down. My slashed shoulder hurts.
Are you in pain? Shall I go get some medicine from Mr. Ruzi?
I'm fine.
You don't need to be so modest.
Uru's eyes moistened as if he were about to cry again. When I saw it, I felt relieved, albeit unscrupulous. Uru's tears make me realize that I am alive now. Hey, Uru?
Yes?
I'm really glad that you pushed me forward at that time. Even if I had died, I could protect Toya, then I could go to the moon with pride. I'm a selfish master who thinks like that. I'm sorry. Uru's shoulders shook when he heard the word death, and large tears fell from his eyes again. I want to wipe the drops left on his white cheeks with my palm. Even though I thought so, my sluggish body didn't move as I wanted it to. It's frustrating, and I put my heart into the voice that calls out. Uru. Then, from Uru's wide-open eyes, another big drop spilled out.
Her Majesty.
Somehow, I'm just making you cry. Instead of answering, Uru shook his head violently, took a deep breath, and opened his mouth with a determined expression.
I always will be by your side. Wherever Her Majesty goes, I will always strive to be by your side. Not only wisdom, but also horses and bows. I will learn. So, would you please keep me by your side?
A voice that sounds as if it is about to cry out. The desperate look in his eyes. All of them were so endearing that I smiled sincerely. Of course. Stay by my side. I'm glad that you're by my side. Actually, I thought it would be hard for you to be by my side. Hey, you were crying the other day, weren't you?
Because I thought it was a sin to be by your side.
Why did you think like that?
That's because...
He closed his mouth once and paused for a moment. I could see from his straight gaze that he was not lost, but was taking time to solidify his resolve.
Whoa!
Okay. Well, we're here now.
Where do we go from this? It's because I love you. I admire you as a woman. I know that Her Majesty loves His Majesty very deeply, which is why being by your side is more than enough for me.
In that sense, it's rare for you to say your true feelings.
I followed His Majesty's words that it would be better to tell you when he could.
He really is something. After muttering to myself that this was typical of Toya, I then locked gazes with Uru. Hey, Uru.
Yes.
The reason why I feel so warm is probably because I love Uru too. Even if I can't love him as a man, I love him as a person. I hope these thoughts don't hurt Uru. I smiled at him, hoping so. Let's stay together.
I can stay by your side?
Yes, of course. I don't want anyone but you to be my servant.
Her Majesty.
Stay with me, Uru.
Yes. I will never leave your side again.
Uru's tears glistened in the sunlight. His slightly downcast appearance resembled a ceremony, reminiscent of a sacred oath.
I will forever be on Her Majesty's side.
Vow. Okay. Do we get a credits for that, or is that just like you're done? That's it. Don't worry about it. Okay, it's just a you're done. No epilogue, no credits, no nada. You just got that. Man, that played out like way differently than I expected. I didn't think he would actually... I thought this was going to be more like friendship based, but he actually admitted he was in love with her. I feel kind of bad for him though, because I feel like we're stringing him along, you know? Like, I wouldn't want anyone but you to be my servant. Like, I understand the feelings behind it and what Naala's trying to convey. It's just that the wording sounds bad. And I'm like, aw, poor Uru. He's just gonna, like, be here in his feels and be like, well, it's just enough for me when I get her smile, you know? Watch her be with this other guy and have his baby. It's fine. You know, it's kind of messed up, and I feel bad for Uru because he's a sweet boy. But, you know, he's still young, so maybe he can meet another lady later in life. And she'll be a lucky lady that gets Uru, I think. He's a sweetheart. Absolute sweetheart. I just feel a little bad for him in this end. But I enjoyed that. It was a little extra. Little extra side stuff to Toya's route. But I really liked Uru as a character. He's a good bean. Alright, but with that, I guess we are done once again, guys. Thank you very much for joining me for Uru's route. I don't know why I can't say Uru's route. Uru is just like a really hard name for me to say for some reason. But anyway, we are done. So back to Steam Prison we go for, honestly, a pretty short jaunt. We've got some others endings to do in the main part of the fan disc. I think they're attached to the two kings, so yeah. Anyway, I think there's 3 of them. We'll go and do that, and then we'll be coming back for Ruzi's route, so hopefully I'll see you guys around. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. Until next time, I will. See you later.